We'll begin from River State tonight, as this evening our correspondent Kingsley Amadiri went to town in the garden city of Port Harcourt to feel the pulse of residents after the first day on the state of emergency declared in River State.
It's a cool evening here in Port Harcourt, a night after the declaration of state of emergency in River State. Many who have gone out earlier in the day for their businesses and work are returning home. Of course, nightlife is also active in Port Harcourt. We have gone around the city tonight, and of course, everywhere is calm, though some had expressed fears earlier in the day. But the reality is that Port Harcourt has remained calm, and many expect that the days ahead will offer much more opportunity for restoration of peace and normalcy across parts of the state. I would like you to come with me. Let's find out how some of those who went out earlier had their day. What was their experience?
It was successful, but because of the fear of things happening, it affected the business. There was no issue apart from the vigilance, and people are just being careful for their whereabouts.
So on my own part, I decided to stay indoors for a period of between that morning hours to afternoon. I stayed indoors trying to get informations of how the road basically is before I came out to reach out to one or two places. And the people of the city here have taken their time to observe, and there is nothing brutal. So life is beginning to pick up again.
Like what we are seeing right now, what we news we hear yesterday, what we are seeing I think is better, a little bit better than what we hear yesterday. Everything is calm, everywhere is calm. You can see movement, everybody is going on their lawful business, nothing, everywhere is going peaceful, nothing is happening.
I will not say much. It's peaceful. Activities are going on in the areas where I have been to today. Everything is just moving on well.
For others, there is also this expectation that the new administration that is coming on board, that is the administrator, should be able to lead the path to peace and also reunite the state and also govern the state in line with the law. I'm Kingsley Amadiri, NTA News.
Many thanks, Kingsley, for that update. We have our correspondent Robinson TD standing by in the Garden City at the moment to give us a feel of the city. Robinson, how are you? Where are you? And what's happening? Robinson, if you can hear me. All right. Looks like we have a little breach in that communication there with Robinson. All right, we'll get back to him much later. Now, President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated Vice Admiral Ibok Bas retired as the administrator of River State. This follows the state of emergency the president declared in River State and the consequent suspension of the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Udu. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports on this and the clarifications made by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice on the matter.
It has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in River State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do.
President Bola Tinubu took a rare decision, considering the political instability submerging River State for too long. Here is the man chosen from a fellow Niger Delta state, Cross River, Vice Admiral Ibok Bas, to preside over the state for 6 months, the initial period of a state of emergency. President Bola Tinubu gave validity to his appointment by inaugurating him as the sole administrator of a state within this period. Not an event for speeches, but then President Bola Tinubu had in his broadcast expressed hope that this step would help to restore peace and order in the state, and the sole administrator promises to hit the ground running for this task.
First of all, I think we know the circumstances that led to where we are here, and Mr. President made it very clear in his broadcast. And if the main issue is that of maintaining law and order in the state, I think for any meaningful activities to take place in River State, that is the utmost task that I have, to work together with all other stakeholders to ensure that we bring peace, order, and security and stability to the people and government of River State and Nigeria at large.
64-year-old Vice Admiral Ibas served as the 22nd Chief of Naval Staff between 2015 and 2021, and later Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana from 2021 to 2023, all under former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, had made clarifications on questions arising on the decision of the President. At a briefing organized by the presidential media team, the Attorney General pointed out that apart from the failure of the warring parties to reconcile, the political instability was also taking a dimension of national implications.
There was not a word dissuading the threat, the militants who issued this threat. In today's Nigeria, maybe with the efforts of the Mr. President, a Greek will come in, but as of today, we still rely largely on oil. For anyone to touch these pipelines, it's not only the enemy of rivers, it's the enemy of Nigeria. All Nigerians, all the 36 states share in what comes in from the production of this oil.
He insisted the decision is in the interest of the nation.
It shouldn't be about individual. It should not be about anybody. It should be about the entity called Nigeria. But in this case, the River State. So it is River State's turn today. It can be anybody's turn tomorrow. Let the signal be clearly sent for those who want to foment trouble, who want to make the practice of democracy and enjoyment of dividend of democracy a mirage, to think twice.
From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Rivers deserves all the attention at the moment, and it looks like our connection with Robinson there at TD is much better. Robinson, if you can hear me now, give us a feel of the Garden City at the moment.
Garden City and the entire River State is at peace, just as it has been since the declaration of the state of emergency. If you can look behind me, you will see that people are going about their normal businesses, and even there is nightlife going on. So there is no cause for alarm, and everybody is hopeful that the state of emergency will afford the warring parties to reconsider their stand and allow peace to reign. No doubt that if you go into the town, people are discussing about the issue, and one thing everybody is saying is that pigs must be allowed to reign, because that is the only thing that will make the state to develop. And also, it is important for me to bring to your notice that the earlier speculation on the social media that Port Harcourt refinery was on fire is not true. Our correspondent, Kingsley Amajiri, was there earlier today to confirm the report, and we discovered that what happened was just a minor technical default, and it was put to order. So presently, there is no cause for alarm. Everybody is going about his normal business in Port Harcourt and in River State.
All right, many thanks, Robinson, for that update. Indeed, our eyes are on you and on River State. If you hear anything, let us know. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, still on rivers, with the proclamation of a state of emergency in River State by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, attention has shifted to the National Assembly for its approval in line with the constitutional requirements. The National Assembly correspondent Lamiali will now tell us how proceedings unfolded this Wednesday in the Senate in the wake of the executive order.
Well, as anticipated, the motion on the declaration of the state of emergency in River State by President Bola Tinubu was listed today in the order paper for consideration at plenary in the Senate. But at the commencement of plenary, it was actually the first motion in the order paper. The leader of the Senate announced that it was going to be stepped down until 3 p.m. Subsequently, in the course of plenary, it was shifted for consideration to the next legislative date. I had an interview with a member of the Nigerian Senate, that is Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, who was part of plenary, to shed more light on the reason for the shifting of the consideration of the motion to the next legislative day.
Matters were brought today, and that's the beauty of the Senate. We want everybody to participate, so that you wouldn't say, oh, it was 3 o'clock when members have gone for Ramadan prayer that they proclamated. No, we are in tendium with Mr. President. It borders on security of life and property. It borders on enforcement of laws. And there is nothing anybody can do. That is the first on the dashboard of Mr. President, to protect life and property. And anything short of that is unacceptable. And let me tell you, he didn't demolish democratic structure. He said suspension for the first 6 months does not amount to demolition. The governor is still the governor, except that he's suspended from office in order to restore peace and ensure the security of life and property.
As provided in Section 305 of the Constitution, both chambers of the National Assembly are required to approve the proclamation by a two-thirds majority. Senate has in the meantime approved the appointees of President Tinubu as members of the Police Service Commission. It also approved appointments of the chairman and members of the National Assembly Service Commission. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is also yet to deliberate on the anticipated topic of President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in River State. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikwe, however, reports that lawmakers in the Green Chamber at this Wednesday's plenary passed resolutions on other matters.
Lawmakers arrived in anticipation of a debate on the presidential proclamation of the state of emergency. This usually comes in the form of a message from the president to be read by the presiding officer on the floor. There was, however, no mention of communication from the president during plenary, nor was any motion on the River State crisis listed on the order paper for the day.
The reading of the letter is at the discretion of Mr. Speaker and the leadership of the House. So tomorrow, hopefully, when the issue is brought before the Parliament, then at that point, we'll take a decision as a Parliament.
Bear it in mind that before you can make that consideration, the Parliament must be properly constituted with two-thirds majority, which is about 240 something like that. But anything below that will be like a queue. It will not work.
The House passed resolutions aimed at enhancing security in Kebbi and Plateau states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, to combat criminal activities.
We are in a terrible situation in Plateau, Mr. Speaker. Let the security agencies help the situation. The bush, the forest that have become a safe haven to bandits, to kidnappers, need to be combed. Also worried that the lack of adequate security patrol vehicles and gadgets in the criminal black spots within the FCT has led to an increased armed robbery, targeted attacks, assassinations, kidnapping, and terrorism.
Also adopted was a motion asking the National Assembly Service Commission to recognize diploma certificates from federal universities.
The Committee of Public Service Matters to invite the Chairman, National Assembly Service Commission, and the Commissioners to deliberate on the non-acceptance and utilization of ascertain the delay in accepting and utilizing federal university diploma.
The wait continues till Thursday as Nigerians expect the National Assembly to pass a resolution on the President's proclamation of a state of emergency in Rivers State. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
Many thanks, Mitaire. We'll look away from the National Assembly now, and reports reaching us says casualty figures following the explosion at the Abuja Kefi Road by Karu Bridge is still unclear, with reports say the number of fatalities seem quite high as the multiple explosions and fire from a fuel tanker have left dozens of vehicles in flames. Abdullahi Ajia is at the scene of the explosion and now reports.
It's been a dark and sad Wednesday evening here at the Karu Junction, here where a multiple accident caused by a truck here has led to multiple deaths and casualties. Well, at the moment, it is still emergency rescue mission here, where emergency respondents are responding to the critical situation here. Well, this situation has caused a lot of chaos on the traffic, with a long kilometers of traffic on commuters who are returning back from work from the city center at the moment, and with no one to be able to talk to us as to the cause of the incident. But we'll keep our fingers crossed to be able to get updates as to the cause and the latest on this situation.
Very sad development there. This is News Extra. Time for a break. Stay with us.
A business can be exciting, but it often comes with a mountain of paperwork and significant bureaucracy. But wait, there is an easier and better way. Introducing the new and highly improved CAC's company registration portal, your AI-powered solution to effortlessly register your company and get started on your entrepreneurial and business journey. Thanks to the visionary leadership of Hussaini Ishaq Magaji, SAN, the Registrar General CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, your entrepreneurial and business journey will now be faster, smarter, and hassle-free. The AI guides you step by step, ensuring everything is done correctly with real-time error checking and name suggestions. Join the future of business registration. Visit www.pre.cac.gov.ng today.
Big day ahead.
Delicious Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Everybody has got the right. No shaking, no wahala, we there for you. No lele. Oh yes. From north to south, east to west, you got the power, you got the right to enjoy value for money. We are FCCPC. For your consumer rights 24/7. FCCPC. We are right by your side. Oh yeah. We are FCCPC. No shaking, we dey campaign. We are here with you for a better night. FCCPC. 24/7. FCCPC. We are here with you for a better Niger.
FCCPC, promoting choice, ensuring fairness.
Sometimes great things are worth waiting for, and for those who crave and wait, the experience is truly memorable. Introducing the new Dano Evaporated Milk, a creamy, tasty, nourishing way to start your day.
Very creamy and delicious. Now that's worth the wait.
Try Dano Full Cream and Dano Cool Cow Evaporated Milk and taste the Dano difference.
Your journey to great rewards starts with the Save and Win Paddy Promo Season 4. Take the first step by opening a new account or growing your existing balance by 10,000 Naira or more. Step 2. Perform at least 5 transactions monthly. Step 3. Stand a chance to win. From tricycles and motorcycles to cash prizes and a grand prize of 5 million Naira. To open an account, download the Union mobile app or visit www.unionbankng.com. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
At break time, when my champ needs to keep going, he's going to need his favorite snack, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Milo Energy Snacks, snack of future champions.
Milo! My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Thank you for staying with us. Vice President Kashim Shettima has implored lawmakers across the nation to enact relevant legislation that would enhance nutrition and food security to ensure that every household in Nigeria has access to the balanced diet required for a healthy and productive life. He gave the charge when he met with the National Legislative Network on Nutrition and Food Security at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila feeds us.
Nutrition 774 initiative holds the key to improve coordination, financing and accountability in ensuring that every mother and child has access to life-saving nutrition interventions tailored to their needs. This meeting therefore reaffirms the role of the legislature in making this initiative a success, essentially in reviewing key laws from maternity leave policies that support improved infant nutrition to the removal of multiple taxation on food produce to curb inflation.
For too long, our responses to malnutrition have been fragmented, donor-driven, and inconsistent. Nutrition 774 changes that. It is government-led, government-funded, and government-implemented because we understand that food security cannot be outsourced. This N774 initiative is a beautiful idea, but the most important thing is let's walk the talk. Let's mobilize resources.
The Conference of Speakers of the 36 State Houses of Assembly now have committees on nutrition and food security, guided by legislative reforms under consideration.
We believe that we need a synergy, we need that cooperation, we need the blessing and support of his office, so we can be able to achieve our common mandate, which is to make sure that food is not just available but is affordable.
The National Legislative Network on Nutrition has also strengthened the collective implementation of policy frameworks to build capacity on nutrition-related issues and the economic implication of nutrition. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
In other news, in the landmark move to enhance agricultural development and ensure security of farming operations in Nigeria, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund is partnering the National Agricultural Land Development Authority. Francis Fom reports that this strategic collaboration is set to reinforce the security of NAUDA's mega farm estate while facilitating the execution of joint agricultural projects nationwide.
This partnership between the Nigeria Police Trust Fund and NALDA marks a significant step towards fostering food security and economic growth in Nigeria. Under this collaboration, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund will provide enhanced security measures to safeguard key agricultural facilities, ensuring that farmers and agri-businesses operate in a safe and secure environment.
Directors here today
Speaking on the development, Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund emphasized the importance of securing critical agricultural infrastructure to boost productivity and sustain food supply chains.
By working together with NALDA, we are opening new avenues for collaboration that will enhance food security, provide economic opportunities for police personnel, and ensure that those who serve and protect our nation have access to programs that improve their livelihoods.
Mr. President has said, look, let us identify the peculiarities to specific areas. What do they need? The areas that are near water, they don't have excess land, are we going to provide ponds for them so they can do aquaculture?
With Nigeria's renewed focus on agricultural sustainability and security, this initiative is expected to bridge gaps in the sector while strengthening the country's internal security framework. Francis from NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian military is looking inwards in the manufacturing and production of needed hardware to fight insurgency and reduce capital flight. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, stated this while inaugurating the Defense Industry Corporation Local Content Committee in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa brings us details.
In November 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assented to the Defense Industry Corporation Bill, encouraging the local manufacturing of military hardware. This eliminates delay in the procurement of military hardware, cuts capital flight, and generates employment.
This is an opportunity for Nigeria to also capture the market around Africa.
In keeping with this commitment, the Defense Industry Corporations is collaborating with local manufacturing companies to bring the DICON Act into fruition.
We must ensure that this effort delivers the desired impact for enhanced security, economic growth, and national development. I urge all stakeholders to work with determination and dedication in actualizing the objectives of this partnership. The success of DICON D7G Nigeria Limited will not only enhance the operational efficiency of our security forces, but also create employment opportunities, boost local content, and drive Nigeria towards a self-sufficiency in defense production.
Last year we had the Defense Innovation Challenge, and then we brought youths that were that had technical ideas into the system. So we're expecting that this cooperation will leverage and activate our Defense Technology and Research Institute to bring in youths and leverage on them for us to have more collaboration.
Invite for new generation for the new technology, and we are very soon we're starting production ammunitions and arms assembling and bomb to fill it in Nigeria and all for Africa market.
The collaboration is expected to improve production of military customized hardware suitable for different terrain and security threats, as well as promote indigenous industries and the nation economy. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Let's head to Borno State now. It's no longer news that Borno State had in the last 16 years experienced devastation caused by insurgency. What is, however, news is the relentless effort the government has been making to augment whatever need the security sector requires to remain potent in effectively containing emerging threats to peace. The recent bold move, where the Borno State government supported security operatives, especially the military and the police, with mobility, is seen by observers as the game changer, not minding that it was the latest among the ones previously done by Professor Babagana Umar Zulum's administration. Mohammed Gouni is here to tell us how the gesture remarkably differs from those in the past.
In a significant boost to security operations in the state, Governor Zulum last week presented 110 brand new Hilux vehicles and 500 motorcycles to security forces, a move aimed at further strengthening efforts to maintain peace and stability in the region. The official handover ceremony held at the Government House, Maiduguri, was attended by top security chiefs, including the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the Theatre Commander of Operation Hadin Kai, Major General Waidi Shoaibu. Of the 110 vehicles, 60 were allocated to the Nigerian Police Force, while the military received the remaining 50 along with all 500 motorcycles, to further strengthen their capacity to combat insurgency. The governor's support didn't stop there. In a bid to enhance the welfare of security personnel, he also donated 280 housing units in 3 different locations across Maiduguri. These include 220 units in Maimala Buni Estate, 20 in Kashim Shetima Estate, and 40 at the Wulari Mounted Troops Quarters.
We are grateful to the federal government of Nigeria under the distinguished leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFI, for providing strategic leadership and non-aligned support to our security agencies as they work assiduously to safeguard the life and property of our citizens.
Your Excellency, this gesture demonstrates your commitment to supporting our efforts in protecting lives and properties and maintaining law and order in this state.
This donation will go a long way in ensuring that owned personnel and all the security agencies here in Borno will do their job conscientiously to the benefit of restoring peace and security in Borno State.
Since assumption of office nearly 6 years ago, Governor Zulum has consistently invested in security infrastructure, recognizing that a stable environment is key to development. During the first term of his administration, a total of 1,417 patrol vehicles were distributed to the security establishment, 12 armored personnel carriers to the Nigerian police, drones, long-range security cameras, and over 1,000 motorcycles to the military and volunteer forces. The governor also established Rapid Response Squad, comprising the military, police, and volunteers, where he equally presented surveillance vehicles and other gadgets to aid in patrolling flash spots in the state.
Understanding that long-term development is impossible without sustained stability, Governor Zulum's vision extends beyond security with initiatives in agriculture, trade, industrialization, and small business growth, all playing a role in Borno's recovery. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Away from Borno, we head to the courtroom now, where the Federal High Court in Abuja has set aside its order of March 4, declaring the suspension of Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan by the Senate as null and void. Justice Obiora Egwata, in a ruling, vacated the order after listening to the arguments of counsel for the plaintiff and that of the defendants in the suit. Justice Egwata had earlier granted Natasha's 5 reliefs on March 4, including Order Number 4, which declared any action taken by the defendants during the pendency of the suit as null, void, and of no effect whatsoever in an ex parte order. And still on the judiciary, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, has received the report on arbitrary detention of suspects at correctional centers in Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyebe reports that the issues surrounding overcrowding of those awaiting trials still form part of the report.
Successive governments in Nigeria try to address the problem associated with the congestion of the correctional centers across the country, with the problem still persisting. This is why the Ministry of Justice still constituted a working group to take an overview of the situation with specific terms of reference. And after they undertook a physical visit to the correctional centers across the country and interacted with inmates, the working group came up with this report. Some of the issues highlighted from the report include cases of overcrowding of inmates, unnecessary long detention without trial, many inmates having no access to legal representation, and others battling with illnesses.
The working group recommends that the Honorable Attorney General convenes a meeting of the body of Attorneys General with a view to achieving a coordinated response between federal and state governments on the legal status of all inmates, including but not limited to those who have overstayed without trial.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice commended the group, saying the report is part of ongoing reform in the justice sector in line with the international conventions and protocols which Nigeria is a signatory to.
The objective of these reforms is to provide suitable solutions to the issue of inmates spending unreasonable period in detention, enhancing conditions in correctional centers, and facilitating treatment, rehabilitation, and reintegration of inmates.
He said addressing the challenges raised in the report will require collaboration with the sub-national government. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested the Accountant General of Bauchi State, Sergio Mohammed Jaja, for alleged 70 billion naira fraud. He was arrested in Abuja along with Aliyu Abubakar, an unlicensed Bureau d'Assurance operator, and Sunusi Ibrahim Sambo, a point-of-sale operator. A statement by the head of media and publicity of the commission, Dele Oyewole, says the suspects were arrested in connection with the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed's money laundering investigations, diversion of public funds, and misappropriation to the tune of 70 billion naira. Investigation reveals that cash withdrawal of 59 billion naira had been made through various bank accounts opened and operated by the Accountant General on behalf of the state government. The money was moved to Abubakar and Sambo, who in turn made cash payments to party agents and associates of the governor. In other news, with the ongoing construction work at the $700 million Dangote cement plant at Itori in Ewekuru local government area of Ogun State, Nigeria is set to become the biggest cement manufacturer in Africa. To this end, the president of Dangote Group of Companies, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, inspected the level of construction work on the project and the company of Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakpo Abiodun. Hakim Jimo has all the details.
This Dangote cement factory in Itori will have a new production line with a combined capacity of 6 million metric tons per annum, and when completed, the facility will operate alongside the existing 12 million metric tons plant at Ibeshi. The president of the Dangote Group of Companies, Aliko Dangote, is optimistic that the projected 6 million metric tons of cement manufacturing plant located on 533 hectares of land will be completed by November 2026. He promised that the project would help boost the gross domestic product of Ogun State and by extension Nigeria's economy through wealth creation and generation of direct and indirect employment.
So our intention is not just to produce and sell in local currency, is also to produce and export. Plans are underway for us to both invest and build the largest port in Nigeria. Our social investment in Igbeche and the surrounding communities is guided by the Community Development Agreement.
Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun urged indigenous and multinational companies to take a clue from the Dangote Group by investing massively in Nigeria.
As you've done over the years, you have become a reference point for multinational investors. Alhaji Aliko Dangote will not make an investment decision based on sentiment, not because he likes anybody, but because he is confident that it's the right decision at the right time.
Alhaji Dangote and Governor Abiodun also inspected the ongoing 100-kilometer Shagamu interchange Papalanto Ilaro Ubile Road, where the importance of the road as an alternative route to the ever-busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Earlier, the founder of the cement manufacturing giant also visited the governor in his Okemoso office from Itori in Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State. Akim Jimo, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to health as the federal government has again approved the disbursement of 32 billion naira in adherence to Nigeria's basic healthcare provision funds guidelines, a supportive program for the expansion of primary healthcare services to ensure equitable access to healthcare by all Nigerians, especially women and children, including ambulances schemes and disease control. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, who stated this at the 10th Ministerial Oversight Committee meeting 2025 in Abuja, says the commitment on prioritizing healthcare financing of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda on health is on course. Olusheye Adiagbo is our guide.
Nigeria only makes 2.4% of world's population, but currently accounts for 10% of global deaths of pregnant mothers, with that of infant mortality standing at 128 per 1,000 births for under 5s. To address these worrisome statistics, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF, is a strategic funding program of the federal government to 4 gateways implementing it with focus on addressing gaps across the health sector through an enhanced healthcare delivery of primary care, emergency services, immunization, reproductive health, and malaria treatments.
The federal government is very committed to ensuring that Nigerians, particularly those who are afflicted by diseases like HIV, TB, and malaria, continue to receive the care they need. And it is in that direction that the President provided for in 2025 resources for us to begin to meet the gap. The gap is there, but we are stepping up because we have the responsibility to take care of the health of Nigerians.
This particular session, we came up with a re-conclusion to accelerate the revitalization of primary health care, health financing, and other intervention to see the fruit for which we've been working over the last years.
The BHCPF Ministerial Oversight Committee meeting is for review of the program, with all implementing partners submitting on progress made and discussing accountability frameworks. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government reaffirms commitments to human capital development in key areas of the economy to drive socio-economic development in Nigeria. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, while inaugurating the newly appointed principal officers of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Abeokuta, Executive Secretary for Universal Basic Education and Executive Secretary of National Business and Technical Education Board, highlights the administration's focus on education as demonstrated in the bold policies to revitalize the sector. Lausa tasked the newly appointed principal officers to prioritize service to humanity.
And funding to education. And we are sitting here today is also a testament to that. The president is bringing recruiting, talent hunting, very capable hands to run these agencies, various areas of our education sector. I'm limiting myself to education sector, but the president is doing the same thing in every sector of the economy.
We'll do our best to maintain standards. We'll do our best to maintain integrity. We'll do our best to maintain transparency that you've emphasized.
On behalf of the new appointees, Professor Arogodade Fatu pledges commitment to advancing the cause of education through development of skilled and healthy workforce for the nation. In other news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed executive and non-executive board members for the newly established Nigerian Independent System Operator. Dr. Adesegun Akin Olubade is the board chairman, while engineer Abdul Muhammad Bello is the managing director. Also appointed by the president are 4 executive directors. They are engineer Nafisatu Asabe Ali for systems separation, engineer Shehu Abba Aliu is for systems planning, while Dr. Edmond Eje and Babajide Ibironke are for the market operations and finance corporate services, respectively. The non-executive directors include engineer Lamu Audu, representing generation, Falake Shoton is for distribution, Tajdin Giwa Osage, market export, engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz is for transmission, and Mahmoud Maman as a permanent secretary at the Federal Ministry of Power. The National Council on Privatization is expected to finalize the recruitment process. Now, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, joins family and friends of former First Lady of Lagos and Osun States, Omolola Onyilola, in celebrating her as she turns 73. In a message signed by her senior special assistant on media, Busola Kukoi, the First Lady highlights contributions of Princess Onyilola to women and children, especially the vulnerable, while in office, wishing the celebrant a happy birthday celebration. The First Lady prays that God continues to bless her with divine health, peace, and boundless joy. Let's pause here. There's more news. Stay tuned.
How far, Niger? Welcome to the Glow Cafe.
Glad to have you back. The federal government says the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, when completed in 2031, will revolutionize transportation in Nigeria and boost the unique economic strength of each zone, bringing economic development to the people. Minister of Works David Umahi was speaking at a stakeholders engagement in Akure and the unveiling of the 71-kilometer alignment of the Ondo State section of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Tony Batire reports.
The 700-kilometer highway stretches from Victoria Island in Lagos to Calabar in Cross River State, passing through Ogun, Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom states. Minister of Works David Umahi said that the project aligns with the government's renewed hope agenda, which prioritizes infrastructure as a key driver of economic growth. He noted that the meeting was aimed at finalizing the 71-kilometer alignment and procurement process for the highway section in Ondo State, assuring that all federal projects in the state will be completed on time.
The project is very transparent. It's EPC plus F, and the nation has never obtained the loan component of this project as low as 2.5%. If you want to make a nation great, you have to build infrastructure. If we are not just building a road, it's an investment.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa described the project as a significant intervention in the infrastructural development of the state.
I'm confident that the successful completion of this project will have a transformative impact on the socio-economic landscape of our state.
The minister also inspected the ongoing Akure-Ado dualization project, where he commended the progress made and assured that the project will be completed on schedule. In Akure, Tony Batire, NTA News.
Edo State government has come up with a number of initiatives to ease traffic and restore sanity on roads in Benin City. These include road decongestion and sensitization of motorists to ensure attitudinal change. Jude Abugo tells us more.
Shortly after the inception of the current administration in the state government relocated all the bus stops around this popular Danson Akpakpava junction to about 100 meters away from the junction. This is to ease traffic and remove every form of obstruction on this important junction. This is just one of the many initiatives of the state government to ensure orderliness on the roads in Benin. Parking of vehicles, stopping and picking passengers, as well as roadside trading on the popular ring road are now prohibited.
All this discriminate parking is not encouraging. It's not encouraging at all. So they should do the right thing.
You've done a very great job. Unlike before that, you'll be strongly to pass the road.
Despite deploying traffic enforcement personnel to strategic locations in the metropolis and ensuring that traffic lights are functional, some motorists still flout the orders.
Especially the bus driver, the people that were supposed to hold them will just leave them. But if it is a private vehicle, they must hold them and demand up to 60 and 100,000.
We do not want to adopt confrontational approach, because part of our duty is to educate our people, not just to enforce the law.
The recently commenced flyover project at Ramat Park Junction is also another step by the state government to decongest traffic from Benin Auchi and Benin Agbo roads. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajagbe-Amila, has assured the Nigerian Institute of Architects that the federal government will collaborate with the institute to ensure proper regulation in order to curtail the incessant building collapse witnessed in different parts of the country. Gbajagbe-Amila said this when he received a delegation of the Nigerian Institute of Architects led by its national president, Architect Mobolaji Adeniyi. Gbajagbe-Amila noted that quackery remains a major challenge in the industry and imperative for the institute to intensify its efforts towards sensitizing the building space, including sowing quacks. Chief of Staff to the President also stated the importance of having a holistic approach to the issue of local content rather than piecemeal legislations on every aspect of the national economy. The NIA National President, Mobolaji Adeniyi, commended the Chief of Staff and sought for government intervention towards the establishment of a Building Regulation Commission, as obtained in other sectors, to deal effectively with quackery and lack of professionalism. Now, as the 1446 Ramadan fast winds down, correspondent Tokwe Alabi takes a look at what the last days symbolize and what are expected of Muslims to observe during the sacred days that intersect with the Night of Majesty.
The holy month of Ramadan is one of the months in the Islamic lunar calendar with many spiritual engagements and rewarding benefits. This is because apart from being the month when the glorious Quran was revealed, the month also embodied many history accuracy in Islam. And the month is divided into 3 different folds. First 10, which represents mercy and endurance. Second 10, forgiveness. And the last 10, salvation.
These 10 days is very, very important to the life of every Muslim. The Quran itself was revealed in the month of Ramadan and in that last 10 days of the month.
Apart from these catalogs of spiritual rewards, at the heart of the month of Ramadan sits the Night of Majesty, which is equal to 1,000 nights.
A Muslim can make a special prayer between him and God in these last 10 days, and that prayers will be answered automatically.
You search for it in the last 10 days of the month, specifically the odd nights.
But if you are not having opportunity to do itikaf, you can find a masjid around you or your neighbor that could wake you up to make sure that you don't miss any day.
People will make sure they have not finished a copy of the Quran, they will make sure they finish. Some people will even finish and start another one.
Religious adherents are expected to intensify worship and supplication for self and societal upliftment.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to worship God, keeping aside all my prayers, because I believe like once you put God first, every other thing follows.
If I'm chanced, I would like to observe my Umrah in the last 10 days of this Ramadan.
Apart from spiritual healing and renewal, these special days are a chance for Muslims to benefit from the immense blessings of Ramadan and seek salvation before the month comes to an end. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Similarly, as the holy month of Ramadan continues to inspire acts of kindness and generosity, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant Mohammed Abba Isa, in partnership with the NIA Foundation, distributed food palliatives to 500 households of persons with disabilities in Abuja. Gufan Shaji Ngwai reports that the initiative aimed at alleviating the suffering of vulnerable members of the community during the Ramadan brought joy and relief to recipients.
Because they help us to celebrate our Ramadan, our Iftar, and we thank God, we thank for this foundation.
Having this item today, you have hope of eating today. Can even serve you for some days.
In partnership with the NIA Foundation, we organize this program in order to cushion the effect of the vulnerable group. You can see it's almost getting to 500 households we targeted. We make a selection of persons with disability from different clusters so that it will get to everybody.
And I'm calling on all other NGOs to emulate what we are doing here today.
Government alone can't do it. With support from individuals and non-governmental organizations, we will create a better community.
This initiative is viewed as a clear demonstration of community spirit and the impact that can be made when individuals and organizations come together to support those in need. Also, Kano State government has allocated hard slots, land titles, cash rewards, and fully funded scholarship at Al-Azhar University, Egypt, to winners of the 39th National Quranic Recitation Competition held in Kebbi State. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf made a presentation at a brief ceremony held at the Kano Government House. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
Sanusi Bello Idris is the overall winner of the 29th National Quranic Recitation Competition, while Fatima Abubakar topped the female category. Both read verses from the Quran, signifying gratitude to Allah and appreciation to Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf for the rewards. Hajj slots, land titles and cash gifts ranging from 2 million to 500,000 naira were given to participants. Others who benefited from the Hajj slots and land titles include teachers and participants from the lower category who also received 200,000 naira each. Recently, the governor received the New Telegraph newspaper's Best Performing Governor in Education Award and named African Governor of the Year 2024 in Lagos and Casablanca, Morocco, respectively.
I accept these awards not just for myself, but on behalf of every dedicated individual in my administration and every citizen of Kano State.
Governor Yusuf says the recognitions will drive selfless service to impact residents positively. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
From Kano, we head to Borno, where new life, beautiful and energetic, is unfolding around the countryside of Borno State. It is influencing the way people live. This new life centers around new peace enjoyed by the people and how it supports increased human activities on a large scale. Hamisu Rogo records a beautiful occurrence at a water point at Mafa and how that is a reflection of the newfound peace there. Let's see this.
Borno State at once captured the imagination as a platform for exciting live drama. It is an endorsement of widespread peace that prevails all over now and how it stimulates these life-changing activities. It is like the people are waiting for this transformation of life, and what a relief it is here now.
Around Mapa area, in Mapa local government area of Borno State, while telling a story about a unique cultivation of sorghum, we ran into this water point. We had to stay here and take extensive pictures because of the beauty, the glorious picture that we are taking about the place. The place is becoming more peaceful, and more herders and lighter rearers are having a better life. And then, of course, you can see they are coming in their hundreds to come with their livestock to find water around this area. Well, maybe this is the only one that is around this, but the spectacle that is unfolding is beautiful to watch. And also it tells of the security situation which is vastly improved around this area.
Borno State is heavy on livestock, perhaps the state with the largest count of it in the country. This is just an exciting testimony to that endowment. At least 50 herds of cattle come here to find water every day. Scores of others like it abound across the country with the greater volume of traffic. This does not factor in other livestock like donkeys, horses, sheep and goats. It is a real-life drama that is so beautiful and so memorable. There is no way that this water point is adequate for the number of livestock that come to it. But somehow, every animal takes its fill. We took our picture from the low ground, in close proximity to the water point. From there, we captured the descent of the animal to the water point. It is like there is an endless regiment of war cows, lined up ready to mobilize to the war front. It is actually a mobilization to the water front. It is an endless movement of horns, bodies and all. Amazingly, there is order at the waterfront. No animal misses its heart, no matter the tumult. Animals wait for the water pond to decongest before they move in. Herds also gather at discrete point to await their members to tidy up their drink. It is such a marvelous life. The pictures here are largely that of nomads, but Borno State government is pursuing a major push to ensure nomads have a settled existence. A pilot of that initiative is in Mafa, not far away from this water point. The idea is to act on Fulani farmer clashes and for the nomads to enjoy a more beneficial life from their cows. It is important also that value chains are developed around their settlement.
We brought them under one roof so that they will have access to Western education. They will have access to Islamic education also. And above all, add value to the products that we are getting from the livestock. So we are getting value for money, and then we're developing pasture also. Further there, we bought a lot of silage making machines, and then veterinary clinics are there, housings are there. So, people are so happy.
In all, Borno State is enjoying a major life transformation, and the underlying events are so beautiful to the eye and a precursor to the life of abundance and peaceful living. In Mapa, Borno State, Mohammed Hamis Rogo, NTA News.
Always a delight watching your report, Hamisu. Beautiful indeed. Moving on, for sustainable maritime shipping, it is time for Africa to unite and play its required role in becoming a modern maritime shipping nation globally through providing accurate data evidence to drive shipping decarbonization in Africa. Vivian Iziadife reports that a summit to that effect was a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and the UCL Energy Institute and the Bartlett School of Energy, Environment and Resources, London.
We will need to transit very well.
The panel session at the African Strategic Summit on Shipping Decarbonization highlighted the importance of political will, information research, economic benefits, and accurate data presentation in negotiations with global communities.
They showed us that the art and skill of negotiation is not just one thing, it is multidimensional.
So we'll have access to relevant shipping data. With the kind of data, they will be able to analyze it and be able to tell that what will be the impact of the measures that will be put in place on the economies of Africa.
So the countries within IMO, they are negotiating on how to make the environment better. Now, the kind of hard look the developed country has about Africa is what they want to change.
The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, represented by the DG of NIMASA, emphasized Africans' potential in the maritime industry and the need for the continent to be proactive in addressing shipping decarbonization.
If we do not key in now, the damage that will be left behind for us will just be too much, and the cost and 10 years' time, 20 years' time, 30 years' time will be much more.
As the world moves towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions, Africa is expected to play a significant role in the transition to low-carbon shipping. With its vast natural resources and growing economy, the continent is well positioned to drive innovation and growth in the maritime industry. Vivian Iziadife, NTA News.
In other news, despite a minor incident at a section of the Port Harcourt refining company earlier today, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, clarifies that all sections of the plant remain operational and continue to produce on-spec refined petroleum products. Let's head to Kano. Tragedy struck in Dakata, Kano, as a raging fire swept through a bustling business hub, destroying hundreds of shops and workshops. The affected area, known for its thriving small-scale recycling businesses, provided livelihoods for youths who are now left struggling to rebuild their lives. Aminu Umar reports that no life was lost.
This is Dakata, a bustling business hub in Kano, home to a cluster of small-scale enterprises. However, tragedy struck when a fire engulfed the area, reducing quite a number of shops and workshops to ashes. Dakata has been one of the key centers for plastic and metal waste recycling, providing employment for more than 600 youths. Now these young entrepreneurs find themselves displaced, their means of livelihood completely destroyed by the early morning inferno.
No single machine that is less than 30 million here. All the machine you see here, talk less of the materials. Myself, I have over 10 to 20 tons of material here, which each kilo of one material is 1,200. If you make it up, we are talking of 40 or almost 50 million.
Business owners are now appealing to authorities for urgent support to help them rebuild and recover.
I can't tell, but actually over 500 to 1 billion.
Although firefighters managed to contain the blaze, not a single shop survived the destruction. As of the time of filing this report, firefighters were still on site, damping down the area to prevent any further ignition. In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
Let's join our businessman, Benny Adams, now for business updates. Benny, feed us.
And now talking business, a Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, says the federal government is investing in the production of locally made batteries from Nigeria's abundant lithium reserves to power ambition. This is as the minister says using diesel to power more than 40,000 telecom towers is no longer sustainable. He was speaking at the World Bank Global Digital Summit 2025 in Washington, D.C.
On one hand, we have to be able to make a case for countries who are manufacturing GPUs to be able to allow us to procure this important equipment. But on the other hand, we have to find better form of energy to also power them as well, which is why the country today is also now prioritizing local manufacturing of batteries because we
But for tax administration, this is as technology seems to be moving faster than regulations, and to ensure a fair and effective tax regime, Maria Ado-Zakari reports that the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria is of the view that a firm handshake between effective frameworks and tech is the way to go.
The digital economy is reshaping how the world operates. Technology is no longer a luxury, but a necessity.
Tax reform bills. From day one, we'll be supporting this bill. Majority of our members participated in the drafting of the bills, and ever since the report was ready, we have marketed, we have supported the bills. We are not marketing and supporting because it is a perfect document, but because we know that it's taking us from one point to the other. Nobody should be proud of what we have now, the 10% to GDP tax ratio. So we believe with ICT, the robotic technology, we start to gain and we start to move our internally generated revenue forward.
A well-designed tax system fosters business confidence, encourages compliance, and ensures that government have the necessary resources to invest in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and public services.
With the theme Building Smart Tax Infrastructure for Economic Growth, the conversation here is centered towards eliminating redundancy in traditional tax collection and replacing such with technological innovation to maximize efficient taxation in Nigeria. In Abuja, Maria Ado-Zakari, NTA News.
Now, still talking taxation, the federal government has pledged commitment towards advancing tax policy formulation and capacity building efforts, not only within Nigeria, but across the entire West African region. The Executive Chairman, Federal Land Revenue Service, Zach Adediji, disclosed this at the opening session of the West Africa Tax Administration Forum Conference in Abuja. Adediji acknowledged the role of tax policy in driving sustainable economic development and crucial need for countries within the region to strengthen domestic resource mobilization. Addressing the importance of effective communication in the realm of tax administration, he noted the ability to convey clear, accurate, and timely information to taxpayers play a critical role in fostering voluntary compliance and building trust between tax authorities and the public. Meanwhile, Nigeria has been at the forefront of promoting international cooperation on tax matters, which aims to create a fairer and a more inclusive international tax system. Well, this is it, and a business. Here, you can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny, for the update. We'll pause here. More news on the other side.
That's why! No, see, say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big... not true!
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Bye, Mom.
He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs.
Don't worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Thank you for remaining tuned. Strengthening bilateral ties. Nigeria and Mexico are strengthening collaboration in the development of livestock industry for mutual benefit of both countries. The alliance came to the fore when the Mexican ambassador to Nigeria, Alfredo Miranda, paid a visit on the Ministry of Livestock Development. Yusuf Dika reports.
This is the second engagement between the Minister of Livestock Development and the Mexican ambassador to Nigeria within 5 weeks, sharing knowledge and expertise on livestock development, with conversations centered on the transformational drive of the subsector through improved breeds, veterinary services, leather production technology, and optimizing other basic value chain outlets.
For the Mexican embassy is to share experiences, knowledge, to know the different problems in Nigeria, give us the opportunity to launch different projects.
We want to leverage on the experience to also develop the leather industry in Nigeria. Don't forget that Nigeria is about 250 million for the shoe market alone. For the demographics, we have about 40 million primary school going children. That is a very huge market for any investor in leather research.
The Minister of Livestock Development later declared a stakeholders workshop on the role of pastoral association in promoting investments and reforms in the livestock sector.
That sector is about $32 billion value today. And we have been getting a lot of commitment from both local and international investors. This cannot happen until and unless we address very, very critical stakeholders in the name of these pastoral organizations.
The workshop is expected.
Another break is due. Please stay with us.
You know Total Football. Fast, fluid, and game-changing. Experience Total Betting with the LiveScore Bet app. Scores and stats play alongside great odds and a sleek bet builder. Or switch your play with our Aviator and slot games. With halftime heroes, a 250 ACA bonus, and fast payouts. Winning big has never been easier. Now, to win big, everything in your hand.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Creamy goodness. So creamy, so good. Down, down, a creamy goodness. Down, down, a creamy goodness. So creamy, so good. So creamy.
Enjoy the delicious creamy goodness of cowbell.
Creamy goodness.
with Vitarich and vitamin B9, which supports brain development. Cowbell, so creamy, so good.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
Open market for Epic 10X Challenge. My people, today now. Today, I will show you how the power of new Epic 10X gives your toilet a better cleaning than bleach.
Than bleach?
Yes, so.
Impossible.
Toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Epic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10X better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Epic is better than bleach.
The world needs mums. With a splash of golden terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
Bye, Mom. He's going to play in this weather? Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Show.
Sports update is next, and Buddy is here. Buddy.
Many thanks, Yara. Straight to it, with all the 23 invited players in camp, Super Eagles of Nigeria under coach Eric Charlie are intensifying training for the all-important 2026 World Cup qualifier against the Amavubi of Rwanda on Friday in Kigali. One of the home-based players from Niger Tornadoes, Papa Mustafa, is full of excitement and energy as he savors its first call-up to the Super Eagles camp.
I know we have everything. Like, we have the qualities of player. We can, and I just pray like for the luck. That's just it, like just the luck. I'll be very, very happy if I have the chance, and I'll show Nigeria and the world who I am and what I can do. I love good footballers. When I see you play and I know I can learn something from you, I admire like them, like, okay, yeah, I can learn, and I pick things I know how to, like, I need to learn. And
meanwhile, in North African World Cup qualifiers played on Wednesday, Madagascar recorded an emphatic 4-1 victory over Central African Republic to garner 10 points at the top of Group I. Comoros and Ghana are behind in 9 points apiece going into their matches on Thursday. Group D remains wide open with Cameroon on top after playing a goalless draw with Eswatini. Libya and Cape Verde are 7 points apiece. In Group H, Tunisia defeated Liberia 1-0, sitting comfortably on the log with 13 points. Namibia, Liberia, and Malawi are separated by 1 point each.
Finish.
That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Nyeri.
Well, thanks, Buddy, for that feeler. With sports done, we have this for you. For many Nigerians wondering how the different cities in River State are looking today, 24 hours after a state of emergency was declared in the state by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We'll bring you pictures of key locations in Port Harcourt and its environs in the course of the day. Coastal city retains its aerial allure, its reputation as the center of trade, and its natural wealth burnished by the luster of oil. and the enthusiasm of its people. Although it has been treated to an unending installments of political deck shuffling, the people have maintained a high level of comportment, expressing hope that nature and providence will continue to smile on the region. We wish Rivers people the very best. That's News Extra tonight. Thank you for being a part of it. Have a good night.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Welcome to the fourth ministerial briefing of the year, an essential dialogue between the Nigerian government and the